Hi guys, welcome back to Wentworth Life, the YouTube channel that talks everything Wentworth. If you're new to the channel, then hit that subscribe button right now. And if you stick around until the end of the video, I will be responding to some of your lovely comments from a previous video. Okay, so every month Foxtel release a magazine, and for July's magazine it heavily features information on the new season of Wentworth, and it was such a good read that I'm going to be reading the article out just for you guys. So let's jump straight in. So the magazine heavily features information on Ali and of course Ferguson. So what the article says is that it goes into information about the global pandemic that we've all been living in, and that Wentworth is obviously a TV show that got affected, like most of the TV shows, worldwide. So it says here that the knock-on effect from the virus was that the intended June launch date of season 8 had to be delayed. So basically season 8 was meant to be starting this June, but of course because of the pandemic it had been delayed until July. So at least that was now confirmed. So anyway, when the drama returns, gone is timid Ali, who hid in the shadow of top dogs Kaz Proctor and B. Smith. Now, last season's explosive final had Ali breaking all the rules, including committing murder, after reluctantly stepping up in the prison hierarchy to protect the women from two of the most vicious predators they had ever faced. Snatching a prison guard's gun in the middle of a siege, she shot her one-time love turned arch rival Mari Winter in the leg before executing Sean Brody, the sadistic guard who had been Mari's secret enforcer. So the gutsy move elevated Ali to the position of power she'd never dreamt of, top dog, proving once again that the only constant at Wentworth is change. She certainly had a hell of a trajectory since season 4. She's been a follower her entire life. She had followed Mari on the outside and Kaz on the inside, and never had the capacity to stand on her own 2 feet, but in Wentworth she's learnt the system. She's become embittered and emboldened, and I think she understands now that the only way to survive is to stand on your own power and not let anyone around you control you. And that is where we meet Ali at the beginning of season 8, with an edgy new look to match her bold new persona. Ali is top dog. She's at the strongest point in her life, but of course it's Wentworth, so that's probably not going to last too long. However, that's just fine by the actress, who says that she loves the fact that nobody is safe, not even Ali. The joy of the show and this character is that I haven't just been playing one woman for the last 5 years. I feel like I've played 6 different women in the same character, she explains, and that's good writing. And it's been so gratifying as an actor to get to play a human being at their lowest and then also at the highest. Looking back on her favourite scenes in the long-running drama, she observes that almost all involve a character that we thought we knew becoming entangled in violence. I mean, Ali's first kiss with B in season 4 was a beautiful oasis in a desert of destruction and pain, but B's shocking death later that year was far more affecting for both actor and character. So too were Rita's violent battles with inmate Dragovich and the death of Liz at the hands of Boomer last season. And the actress goes on to say that that was probably my all-time favourite scene of all of Wentworth seasons, and that it was truly heartbreaking. But for sheer impact, it's Ali's run-ins with Joan the Freak Ferguson that Jenkinson really relishes. In one epic clash between the pair, the actress reveals she literally wet her pants because the tension was so real. So basically, do you remember back in season 5 when there was that scene between Ali and Ferguson in the shower block, and Ali went to stab Ferguson with a syringe of heroin to give her an overdose? Well, what the article pretty much says that they were filming for 5 hours and she was drenched, wearing a wetsuit underneath her tracksuit, and it was just way too inconvenient to go out, take all her wet clothes off, dry, pee, then come back and put all the wet clothes back on. So she just announced to the room that she was going to pee her pants. So she then goes on to explain that it was also something to be expected when you're facing a force of nature like the Freak. And she said that she loved the scene at the beginning of season 5 where Ali takes on the Freak, and that she kind of turned into this screaming gargoyle monster from the deep. She said she loved it because any excuse to see Pamela Rabe go full feral is something that she always embraces. And Ali might have to embrace going full feral herself this year if she hopes to survive the arrival of several incoming prisoners and a new general manager. Anne Reynolds has the difficult job of restoring order at the correctional facility after one of its biggest trials. Meanwhile, Reb Keane, a man trapped in a woman's body, enters prison for the first time, but has serious protection in the form of Wentworth top dog Lou Kelly, a brutal bully to rival even the Freak. Before Jax and before B, there was Lou Kelly. So Lou has history with a few people, inmates and staff. She's a total survivor and she'll use what she can to survive, but mostly to keep Reb safe. And at the other end of the spectrum is British activist Judy Bryant, who enters the slammer under the glare of the media, initially finding favour with Ali and her fellow H1 inmates. It appears to only be a matter of time before the two headstrong women clash. And this may be why Jenkinson says some of her favourite moments are yet to air. From the beginning of season 8, Ali has to fight to keep respect and maintain her status as top dog. She has to assert her dominance and her threat and her superiority. That leads to a very bloody battle. She hints that basically Ali's going to be in more danger than she ever felt. And the actress Kate Jenkinson, she admits that as much as she's loved playing Ali at the peak of her powers, she is still hoping for an exit with a bang when the time is right. She says that you can't be on Wentworth for 6 seasons and not want to die. And she says she'd love to be thrown off a cliff or crushed in some kind of vice or something. So basically she wants something very morbid and a very graphic death. So that was all about Ali. So now we have a little article in terms of the Freak. So she's mad, bad and downright dangerous, but as Kate Jenkinson points out, Joan the Freak Ferguson is the dark heart of Wentworth. The Freak is like Voldemort, likening the prison guard turned inmate to the Harry Potter franchise main villain. She is an antagonist and she has the power to disrupt everyone and everything. Of course, she has history with so many of the characters, and that's going to cause its own kind of intrigue and upset with friction. She's that kind of malignant weed-like force that wraps her tendrils around anyone. Yet, as terrifying as she is, the Freak is basically what Wentworth needs to unite prisoners and staff against a common force. Kate Jenkinson goes on to say that she was absolutely thrilled that they were reintroducing the character this season because she always suspected she wasn't gone. And basically you can't have Wentworth without the Freak. She's the ultimate evil, and once she's vanquished, then maybe it's time for Wentworth to close its doors, but only when the Freak is vanquished. And then there's also another little article. It's in regards to another new character. So Foxtel released a brand new trailer last Tuesday, and viewers are in for another gritty and dramatic season. The new season introduces fans to an array of new characters, including Marta Dusseldorp. In the exciting new teaser, we see new character Sheila bash a woman accused of mass murder and theft. She's then escorted to Wentworth prison, where immediately makes a name for herself as a ruthless top dog inmate not to be messed with. So maybe she's part of the transfer. Remember in my last video I said that there was like a bus outside the prison and it looked like there was a transfer of loads of new inmates? Maybe she's top dog from that prison. So looks like there's going to be a strong battle for the top dog positions in the new season. And also in a magazine, it's got little snippets of each character. So let's have a quick look at these. So, Rita Connors. Location is unknown after being whisked away to a witness protection safe house. as she waits to testify against the former Attorney General. Rita is struggling being apart from her sister. Will she crack? Then we've got Susan Boomer Jenkins. So, poor Boomer is still grappling with the role she played in the death of her best friend Liz when the series returns. Inadvertently getting off on the wrong foot with Lou Kelly only adds to her woes, and of course we saw poor Boomer getting punched in the face by Lou Kelly, so not nice scenes ahead of us. Joan the Freak Ferguson. So the Freak is quite literally back from the dead after being buried alive in the season 5 final, but she's not behind bars, living on the streets under the alias Kath Maxwell. She's busy plotting her revenge on those who wronged her. So, if there's any Prisoner Cell Block H fans here, you guys should recognise the name Kath Maxwell, as she was a character in Prisoner and she was a child killer. Let's hope that Ferguson, who is using this Kath Maxwell name, isn't going to become a child killer. Then we have Ruby Mitchell. So, with her sister out of the picture and her own parole date looming, Ruby tries to keep her head down, but trouble just seems to have a way of following her. Ruby and Rita are always going to find each other. And then we have Lou Kelly. This is a really reimagined Lou Kelly, who she ends up back in Wentworth after robbing a jewellery store with boyfriend Reb. The former top dog is quick to make an enemy of Ali, so definitely got a showdown with them too. And then onto Reb Keane. Trance inmate Reb has a tough time adjusting to life behind bars. He's understandably terrified, timid and shy. Reb resorts to desperate measures to become the man he's always identified as. Definitely going to be an interesting storyline there. And if we just move over to the next page, we have Will Jackson. So, Will has a lot to answer for this season, from his mismanagement of the siege to the reappearance of a certain dead inmate. Everything's hunky-dory until the Freak comes back. Yes, he's definitely in for a tough time this season. And Ali Novak. So, the Ali we meet at the beginning of season 8 is the Ali she was always growing towards becoming. And hopefully that's an Ali that would make Kaz and Bea proud. Oh, I'm sure she would. Then we have newcomer, General Manager Anne Reynolds. Anne is up to all sorts of things that you will not expect from the outset. So basically she's a new General Manager and she's eager to whip the prison back into shape. She cares not who she gets offside with a no-nonsense approach. So she's definitely going to be one to watch, I feel, Anne Reynolds. And this is Judy Bryant. So Wentworth's newest celebrity inmate stands accused of cyber terrorism and leaking government secrets. A natural-born leader, Judy elevates herself to a position that enables her to pursue her own agenda. And we have Jake Stewart. So with Vera still keeping him at arm's length, the new dad doesn't get much of a look in with daughter Grace, until he's called in to babysit so Vera can enjoy a girls' night out, which is what we saw in the trailer. And on the work front, the officer is staying on the straight and narrow for now. Oh god, yeah, I think as soon as Ferguson's back, he's going to be back to Puppet Jakey, isn't he? And Mari Winter. After inciting last season's deadly siege, Mari's holed up in the protection unit. Back to her old tricks, she threatens Will in an attempt to be released back into general population. But if you think that she's going to take it lying down, think again. So, like I said in my previous video, I can't see Mari taking crap off anyone for too long. Definitely watch that space. And last but not least, Vera Bennett. So, having welcomed baby Grace during the siege, Vera is happily enjoying maternity leave when we pick up 3 months later. But when her old friend from the training academy, Anne, she begs her to come to her work in a limited capacity, she eventually relents. And that is when Vera comes back to Wentworth as a new job role. So yeah, it's sounding like that the new season is going to be full on and quite intense. There's a lot of big storylines going on there. And I am very excited to see Ali in a top dog role, even though I think it's going to be very short-lived. I think we could be in for a round 2 between Ali and the Freak. I wonder how it will go down this time, but between me and you guys, I don't think Ali has a hope against the Freak. So let me know in the comments box below, do you think Ali is going to still be alive by the end of season 8? I personally have a feeling that this may be her last season, but let me know what you guys think in the comments box below. And speaking of comments, it's time for some comment replies. So we have Caleb Ellis. I've noticed one inmate Amari are wearing a darker teal. I wonder if it's a new prison policy, meaning they can't be touched or talked to. Well, it's very interesting that you say that, Caleb. I've noticed that in the trailer, that in some parts she's in her teal, and other parts it looks like she's wearing the uniform that the new prisoners are wearing. So, very confusing, but I like your theory. Maybe they are like prison, or maybe they're the dangerous prisoners or something or other. Going to be very interesting. But yeah, thank you for your comment. Betsy Narn, I enjoy your breakdown of the trailers. I wish you would briefly turn the camera on yourself, either at the beginning or at the end, so we can see who's talking to us. Oh, thanks, Betsy. Well, I am going to be doing a YouTube live video again soon. Keep your eyes out for that. I've been saying it for a couple of weeks that I'm going to be going live. It's definitely going to happen before season 8 airs. So keep an eye out, and I will let you know as soon as possible when that video will be going live. Alright, thank you for your comment. Jack Nation, I'm really hoping we get a return, or at least a mention of what happened to Maxine. Such a brilliant character. Yes, Jack, I won't be happy until we know what happened to Maxine. I think she should be out of prison by now, recovered from her cancer, and she needs to come and visit Boomer. However, wouldn't it be really nice if at the start of season 8 we have, like, I don't know, like a 2-3 minute scene of Liz's funeral on the outside, because I know we saw at the end of season 7 Liz a little memorial put inside the prison, but wouldn't it be nice if we had a little flashback scene before season 8 begins, and it's got Doreen, and it's got Maxine, it's got anyone who's on the outside who knew Liz at the graveside saying goodbye to Liz. I think that would be beautiful, but I do think Maxine needs to come and visit Boomer at least once, just for us to have peace of mind that Maxine is still alive. Thank you for your comment, Jack. And we have Shirley Radats, and your comment is, I think Boomer will blame Mari for what happened to Liz. I hope Ferguson doesn't hurt baby Grace. Maybe she'll kidnap her and Rita is looking for her. Now, that's a very good theory. I can see Ferguson stealing baby Grace, and maybe, yes, maybe Rita, maybe that will cause Rita to come out of hiding, because obviously she's in hiding at the moment, and she will try and rescue baby Grace. And maybe that's how Rita will end up back in prison as well. And with Boomer blaming Mari for what happened to Liz, that's highly probable, because Boomer will probably blame Mari for basically Liz having a stroke after all the stress that she was put through. So yes, I love your theory. Thank you for your comment, Shirley, and thank you all for your amazing, lovely comments. Keep them coming, and maybe next time one of your comments will get picked. Also, guys, I saw another trailer of Wentworth today. It's been posted on Facebook, and it features a few new scenes that weren't in the first trailer. So the scenes that I can remember off the top of my head, it showed Rita kicking some sort of knife or blade out of someone's hand in a place that looked a little bit like a warehouse. So she was in some sort of fight scene. And it also showed more Vera in her new uniform walking around the prison. And you can see all the women look like they were having a riot or protesting inside the prison, and you could hear the panic button alarm going off. But unfortunately, the quality of this trailer is not the best. I think it's literally like a fresh trailer that's been recorded off someone's phone. But usually when that happens, there's usually a high quality version within the next day or so, uploaded somewhere. So as soon as that happens, I will share it on this channel. Alright, guys, so that's all for today. Thank you all for watching, stay safe, and I will see you next time.